Good morning in Ohio gozaimasu. MC2 Michael Eckelbecker here, joined now by Colonel Paone and Command Sergeant Major Haynes. How are you two doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's time for our Soldier On segment, the first full one in almost 2 months now. Now we've got the Colonel back. So how are you two doing? What's new? What have you been up to in the last month?
Things are going well. Mm-hmm. You know, I was missing Command Sergeant Major Haynes last month as he recovered from some much-needed surgery, and so glad to have him back, and certainly on the show is really great. How do you feel about being back, CSM?
Well, I feel good, sir. It wasn't so much as a surgery as it was, much like my WWE career, my R&B singing career, and my NFL career. It was contract negotiations. But we got through it, and I'm back.
That's good. I'm glad that we managed to hold on to you for another season.
Hey.
That's right.
It's for the stars and bars,
yeah,
man. That's what
right.
I do it for.
So good with that in mind. But I was going more along the in a manner that would support, a thought on if you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else, but he went. That's a little Booker T.
He lifts
Washington.
himself up. Yeah.
He went with the, but it's all good. So we're good, and we're so happy to continue to be able to do this show. So thanks so much.
So yeah, what are the wave tops? What are the major key points we're going to be hitting today?
I think we're going to talk a little bit about certainly an update to maybe our COVID posture. We'll touch base with one of our command teams, one of our commanders, and get a perspective from Captain Wade Allen, our HHC commander, on what it's meant to him to fulfill his, volunteer right, but seeing it as an obligation to support, immunity efforts, widespread immunity efforts. We'll hear from him, and we'll talk a little bit about our new Army Okinawa Ambassador Program, which we kicked off here recently. And with the time of the year that it is, we'll talk a little bit about our emergency relief annual campaign drive.
All right, lots of great stuff, so stay tuned. We'll be back after a quick music break. All right, so during last month's segment, we talked a lot about the Army's COVID mitigation efforts, but it's been a few weeks, so let's take a look at what's new. What are some updates that we have on that?
Yeah, CSM and I will tag this. I know he feels the same way on many of these sort of focus areas, but the bottom line is the health of our soldiers and our community is certainly still our top priority, and we're part of a larger group of experts, locally and otherwise, that continue to evaluate the threat and adjust or make recommendations on protective measures or relief based on the demands of the current environment. We're starting to see, in terms of relief, as daily case counts or the period of averages that the team, the JICRIC, looks at has dropped significantly. In response to this, we've been able to provide some relief across the board. And these last couple of weeks, we know our soldiers, our families, and our community has been able to participate more in outdoor recreation activities, to include hiking and charter fishing, and certainly dining off base and outside, and on top of that, being able to visit retail establishments, libraries, gyms, and so forth. So it's been really good. CSM, anything to add?
So the only thing I would add is that, coming up on a year of being in this protective posture, I know I say it a lot, but, we're so proud of how vigilant our team has been across the forces, and that's what's made it possible to kind of provide some of this relief throughout the community. So I have to always put that out there, that we're doing a tremendous job of being good stewards of protecting each other and protecting this community.
You nailed it. We'll never be at, caseload zero, but minimizing secondary spread is so important. And our team, the Army, certainly has been carrying jugs of protective water in this case. So really great point. Thanks for that.
I'm still having a hard time deciding what's the best way to word it, to say that cases are that COVID cases are trending positively or negatively, because either one sounds bad. We don't want a positive trend of cases because that means more cases. But
sure.
we don't want the trend to be negative because that's negative.
Yeah, you're
right.
But
I think the important thing to say is that case numbers are going down. We're doing better at mitigation.
Yeah.
We're getting the hang of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fundamentals don't change, right?
Right.
So that's sort of the constant. The social distancing paired with mask wearing and some of the other fundamental considerations. You're right, it's so important, but they tend not to fluctuate and have proven to be the efforts on the protective side that have really worked.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got an expert on the phone with us today, Captain Wade Allen, here to talk to us a little bit about vaccine updates. How you doing today, Captain? You with us still?
Good.
Good.
Yes, I wouldn't necessarily call myself an expert. I'm just one of the company commanders.
So what are we looking at as far as the vaccine efforts for Army side?
So at least at company level, it's been one where our soldiers are eager to get it. They definitely see this as a path to defeating COVID and adjusting to the new normal, helping integrate with our local host nation partners and helping defend Okinawa from this virus threat, as well as kind of get to the other side of these restrictions. And I know our soldiers are eager to start travel again, start seeing what is here in this theater beyond just what they've been able to see for the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Colonel, last time we chatted, you had just gotten your first dose of the vaccine. You've since gotten the second one, correct?
CSM and I both have so I guess we're considered fully vaccinated. Wade's doing a terrific job, like many other command teams and our soldiers and leaders who are really getting after this from a decentralized perspective. Proud of the HHC team that he and First Sergeant lead. They've held several information sessions that have, I think, provide a little bit of a tipping point for their soldiers who might be considering the vaccine, but haven't had the time to peel back all of the good information that's out there in support of receiving the vaccine. And I'd miss the opportunity over the air if I didn't. And him being able to do that is in many ways thanks to 1180A and their PA, who's come over a bunch of times just to level set with our teammates. Wade, anything else to add on that?
No, sir, I think that's exactly right. It's definitely been a team, cross-Army, cross-service effort at this, because I know we've gotten help from 18th Med Group as well in some of those info sessions.
So, Captain Allen, why is it that you personally decided to get the vaccine?
So there's kind of three reasons. One is to lead from the front, lead by example. So show that the vaccine is safe, show my belief in it, show that this is the path forward on how we protect our formations and also, like I said, our host nation. Second reason, this is our path to getting back to being a ready, resilient force that is capable of doing that force projection. And then thirdly, kind of the more personal reason, I want to go see my better half again. So she's back in the States, and I haven't seen her since December of 2019. And I know this is the way that will get me there the quickest.
So I know we've got a lot of people out there still who are apprehensive about the vaccine. What advice would you give to them?
So I would say have a discussion and keep an open mind. Talk to the medical providers, talk to your primary care provider, and ask those questions. I know a lot of the concerns we've heard expressed from our formation are they're unsure about the side effects. I'll tell you, having gotten doses 1, dose 2, I've definitely had worse vaccines. This one was not difficult. Probably one of the easiest vaccines I've gotten in my life. Then in terms of, there's a little, hesitancy at the term emergency use authorization. It went through very extensive testing before it reached that approval point. And all that approval point did was kind of allow certain steps in the production of the vaccine to be done concurrently. And I would encourage soldiers who are hesitant to discuss that with their medical provider to kind of gain a better understanding. An emergency use authorization sounds scary, but when you dig into it, it really is an administrative term that doesn't indicate that we're taking any shortcuts to this vaccine. I truly believe, based on my research, that this is one of the safest vaccines and most effective vaccines that humanity has ever put together.
It's good advice.
Yeah, impressive. Yeah, and he highlighted it's, as Wade highlighted, it's important for all of us to be part of the solution. One of our priorities has been ensuring soldiers at all levels of the organization have the opportunity to be informed and receive the vaccine. Can't thank Ed and the rest of our command teams and leaders who are doing the same across the board. Supported taking the proactive steps to protect themselves, their soldiers, their families, and the community. Thanks again, Wade.
Yep. Thanks, Captain Allen, for talking to us today. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you, so I'll let you get to it.
Appreciate talking with y'all. Thank you, sir. Thank you, CSM. Thank you, MC Eckelbecker.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. So is there anything else that either of you would like to add about the vaccine?
No, he's right. I mean, I think CSM and I both look forward to the full command experience. We came in at an interesting, challenging time. We're navigating our way through that, but he and I both look forward to, and with our families, to have a more or a special, meaningful connection with our soldiers and their families, and be able to be a part of the Army fabric that goes out and has the freedom of movement to do the things that we're accustomed to. And that's going to take some time, but I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
I'll tell you what, I think this COVID environment is giving you the opportunity to see leadership at its best. And, I think one of the defining things about being a leader is the ability to start a movement. And just like Captain Allen just pointed out, one of his first reasons that he said was to set the example. And our leaders across the board are doing a great job of that. And not only are they setting the example, but they're publicly doing it, and they're not afraid to have these conversations. I would just invite some of our leaders to start this conversation, the educated conversation, because soldiers, especially in the younger population, are being informed by websites that are not governed by scientists, is not proven, and that's where some of the apprehension is coming from. But the CDC has a great playbook on their website, and it guides the leaders through some of these conversations. So if you're having a hard time discussing that, I would also invite you to go to the CDC website, and they have a tremendous toolkit to help you guide those conversations with your soldiers, and maybe have a more well-informed conversation like Captain Allen was talking about.
CDC's got a lot of great information about dealing with big pandemics like this. They've even got a zombie apocalypse survival guide. I don't know if you knew that. They released one a few years ago. Yeah. So, if you're concerned about that, you can check that out on CDC's website as well. So, as we get closer to this light at the end of the tunnel, I think it's easier for us to, or more reasonable and realistic for us to start looking forward to a more traditional sense of normal. Right. So, what personally are the two of you looking forward to the most about a post-COVID environment?
Yeah, so I mentioned obviously getting the opportunity to really embrace the full command experience, and that there's lots to unpack there, and I think what might bridge the professional or personal rewarding experience of being here is being out and about, and that's the freedom of movement to see all things Okinawa. Certainly, to have the opportunity to travel when the time is right, and for our families to be able to get together and do those things without, it'll be interesting because there'll always be we're in the middle of defining, or at least moving out on what we'll consider a new normal, and being able to again navigate that new normal. So there'll be masks. I think mask wear and social distancing will certainly be a thing. Even as we look into the fall and next winter and summer. But those are a couple things that I know I look forward to, and my family does as well, with two young kids and ambitious family altogether. How about you, CSM?
Before I let CSM answer, I'm going to reword my question a little bit more responsibly, because, of course, I don't think that it'll be a long time before we see a post-COVID world, right?
Sure.
But a post-pandemic world is more within sight. We're gonna manage this virus, but we're not going to eliminate it anytime too soon. So post-pandemic, CSM, what are you looking forward to?
I'm glad you cleared that up for him. I understood what you're saying.
Okay.
I think I probably share this with most folks who got here during the COVID time period and have yet to be able to really experience this culture. So that involves traveling, but the ability to go out and experience the Japanese culture and gain a better respect for what it has to offer is what I'm looking forward to.
For me, I got to spend my first year here pretty much free as a butterfly, and I'm just excited to sit back down in my favorite ramen shop and slurp down a bowl of ramen. I can't wait. That's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
Yep, that's going to be the most delicious bowl of ramen I've ever had.
Yeah, and we're starting to build out all those lists of gotta do.
I'm starting to tear up just thinking about it now. I'm looking forward to it
That's
so
pretty
much.
special.
Yeah.
Special.
All right, well, it's special. That's a nice way to put it. Thank you, sir. We're going to take another quick music break. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about some new community relations programs coming up through the Army side. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. So we've got some more new stuff coming up from the Army. Let's talk a little bit about a new community relations program that's launching. Tell me a little bit about AOAP. What is that, sir?
Yeah. Thanks so much. I know we're going to get into a couple other topics on how we've COVID-proofed some training. And so this is, and we've been able to execute lots of boards and activities. It's been terrific, and we'll do a couple shout-outs. But part of that is our outreach program. And so last month, we launched our 10th Support Group Army Okinawa Ambassador Program. And so a small group of us, right? There are always sort of organic starts to this. Got together and we started thinking about, for the time that we're here and stationed here, Okinawa is our home. And we're grateful for the hospitality and friendship of the Japanese people. And we were eager to work hand in hand with our neighbors to take care of our joint community. So we observed and have participated in so many other joint service opportunities that happen at the Garrison unit level across this beautiful island, and we wanted to take on and centralize a little bit more of our effort. 10th SG and really Torii Station, Garrison, and the units on Torii Station do such a terrific job on beach cleanups and other activities that are very routine, and routine is good. So the goal of the AOAP is to connect the Army community here on Okinawa to a wide range of volunteer opportunities and to promote that meaningful culture sharing and relationship building, our team and the land, between our team and the people of Okinawa in support of the island. And so I think it's part of it is us getting out into the community, and part of it is potentially bringing the community back on when the time is right, and it's looking to be close to that, to bring some leadership and community back on to Torii Station in particular, and to experience that. So it's been great. We got out last month for an activity, and we look forward to engaging with those types of teams here in the near future.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to be able to start to talk more about these events where we're getting more involved with the local community again, or being able to look forward to getting a little bit more involved with the local community again. I think it is important to remind those who have been here since COVID began, or who got here during the pandemic and haven't really been able to experience the local culture in a way. I think the fact that ambassadors is in the name, it's an important reminder that everyone here is an ambassador, and to keep that in mind when you're out conducting yourself on liberty, especially if you haven't had the opportunity to get out and learn the culture. Right. Definitely now is the time to take some time and learn a little bit about the customs and the courtesies out in town, and make sure that you're behaving appropriately and being a good neighbor and a good ambassador.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it is about pairing maybe some different generations that we might not have an opportunity. So our young soldiers and family members getting out with maybe some of our younger community members. This last month's activity was a cleanup of a sea turtle sanctuary at a beach in Yomitan Village. Awesome turnout. We were able to remove dozens of bags worth of plastic and trash from the beach. We're looking at some other park cleanups, and really just having that opportunity to get out and about. And I know we both look forward to participating in some of those activities as well. CSM, any thoughts?
Nope, sir. I'm still upset that part of the criteria for the naming campaign was provide one word I couldn't spell. So. No, seriously, I think if you want to know about more about this, you can go to the 10th Facebook page and look for Army Okinawa Ambassador Program under our groups tab.
I think my filter just saved my life right here because I almost threw a flaming hot roast at you.
But he's I'm so
I'm
glad
ready,
he
man.
redirected back to the landing page at our PAO team.
And who can get involved with this organization?
Really anybody. And so send us the demand signal if it's an idea or consideration, or if it's just an opportunity for you to serve. We will we look forward to creating that partnership, and that means within our joint community too. So if there's we'd love the opportunity, I think, to partner with some of our airmen and Marines and so forth, and to be able to get after some of this, because it sends all the right messages and you get those good feels.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick music break. We're going to get another person on the horn, and then we're going to talk about two of CSM's favorite things, and that's competition and cooking. So stay tuned. All right, CSM, tell me a little bit about this recent Chef of the Quarter competition.
So a couple of weeks ago, we held a competition to highlight some of the excellence in our food service professionals. And listen, I have a soft spot for these guys because this is the group of soldiers that it's probably one of the most thankless jobs in the world. These soldiers are the ones that they're combat multipliers in many facets. I mean, these guys they help morale, of course. They keep our force healthy and provide that nutrition, and they are serious and dedicated to their jobs. And these are the same people who are up before anyone else in the morning, prepping food, cooking food. And, if you're out in a field environment, and most of the time they're dealing with certain dynamics that are not conducive to having a good morning, but they do it with a smile. And you're talking about soldiers who get up 3 o'clock in the morning, prep this food. They are doing that all day long until about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and then they rinse and repeat. And it's some of the hardest soldiers and service members that are in the service. Listen, I got to pause for a second. I was going to try to do this the sneaky way, but the Chef of the Quarter competition was it wasn't just 10th SG. We added, we invited 11SF, and I am a competitor. I'm a sore loser. And the SAR Major for 11SF challenged me and said, listen, if my guy wins, you have to give me something on the radio. And I asked him what it was, and he said it was a meow. So to Sean Arts, SAR Major, meow. All right, so back to what's important, though.
Mean cat.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So anyways, this competition was it was a series of events that included 6 Mile Road March, a formal board interview, and of course a written test, and then of course what these guys do the best, and that is they were given mystery ingredients, 90 minutes, and they had a cook-off. And I want to thank you and your team also, and the AFN team, for coming down and covering that as well. So we're proud to recognize 2 of our outstanding culinary specialists, and one is from 11SF, that is the NCO who won it, Sarin Benavite, and our soldier from 35th up on mainland who flew down to compete, Specialist Hopper.
All right. Well, we appreciate the thanks, but I saw the plates of food that they got to eat at the end of it, so they got plenty of thanks.
Yeah, that was amazing coverage, and CSM, you nailed it. Our culinary specialists, I think, are park counselors. Everybody looks forward to hot chow in the field or in a deployed environment, but at times they're the first ones to sort of complain, and our culinary specialists take all that in. They actually attempt to make things better, and you can't give them enough credit to what CSM described.
So, CSM, did you actually cook in the competition yourself?
I didn't. So unfortunately, that was happening, and I know we'll get to the Soldier of the Quarter and NCO of the Quarter, but both boards were happening, and we just couldn't time it right. I was actually on the Soldier of the Quarter board.
All right. Well, having seen what came out of the competition, how do you think you would have fared against these guys?
I would have killed them all. I would have destroyed them.
Yeah. When you ask him for his favorite song, it'll be Peanut Butter Jelly Time.
That is one of my favorites. Yes.
Easiest to slam together.
Yeah.
I don't think I could compete with those guys, man. We have a lot of talent. And one of the best times of the year is like Thanksgiving, when you really see the creativity that they have and the knowledge that they have about how this business is run in the food service world.
Yeah, I know I worked a little bit with food service when I was on deployment. We have to go called cranking. So I worked in the wardroom, back in the kitchen, helping with cleaning up and doing a little bit of the food prep and seeing what they have to work with. Sometimes, we don't always get the shipments of food in that they need. The food's not always as fresh as they would hope it would be, and they work with what they got, and they do their best to make it good. And I think for the most part, people are pretty understanding of that. But every once in a while, it can be pretty. You can get a pretty upset customer. So understand that those guys go through a lot, and it's a lot of work, and to feed that many mouths and to, like you said, to do it with a smile on your face. I know that after I was done working in the wardroom, when I would go through the chow line and I would get served by somebody who actually was smiling at me, that made a big difference, because I know how thankless that can be. So yeah, shout out to all those guys who are doing a great job out there. Anything else that we want to talk about for the chef of the quarter?
Well, no, listen, I think we're going to run another one, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Chief Doggett and his team from our staff, who really put this together and got our guys down here from 35th and, got buy-in from the 1-1 SF community. So I just need to give a shout-out to him and thank him for all the hard work he put into highlighting these excellent soldiers.
All right, great. Well, we're going to take a quick song break. We'll get a hold of our NCO of the quarter, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Looks like we dropped the call towards that last second, trying to get our NCO of the quarter on here. So do you want to do a quick rundown of accomplishments, CSM, before we give him another call back?
Sure, and I know that we're a little short on time, so I'm not going to go deep into this program. I'm sure every service has it, but our NCO and Soldier of the Quarter program is designed to highlight excellence in some of our top soldiers. Units do it monthly, and then, as the commands go up, they do it quarterly and annually, and the Army has a Best Warrior competition that these folks get to compete in. Really, the competition is again, a series of events that include, like, the Army Combat Fitness Test, Warrior Task and Drills, dealing with weapons, and ruck marches, written tests, and then a formal interview board comprised of a panel filled with senior NCOs or Sergeant Majors. Up front, I'll just tell you that Sergeant Skelsey and Specialist Riggs, Sergeant Skelsey being our NCO of the quarter, Specialist Riggs being our Soldier of the quarter, won this event, and they came and competed hard. I mean, it was stiff competition, but both of them are from our 247 Military Police Detachment. Always excellence coming out of that unit. So I just want to congratulate those two.
All right, great. Well, we're going to try to give Specialist another call back, see if we can get at least a song request from him to close out the hour. And we come back from that music break. We've got a couple more things to talk about before we close out Soldier On for the day, so don't you go anywhere. If you have to get away from your car radio for some reason, make sure to download the AFN Pacific app. Stay tuned anywhere you go in Pacific. And we're back. We've got a song request lined up from Specialist Riggs, since we weren't able to get him on the phone. Unfortunately, we're going to listen to a little Ed Sheeran later. But first, we got a couple of things to talk about before we close up the Soldier On segment for today. So, sir, why don't you take it away, or both of you, I guess, take it away with some soldier spotlights. Tell us about some soldiers who are performing.
Yeah, thanks. We do. So this is all about what we talked about earlier, which includes COVID-proofing, training, and getting back to doing more Army things more routinely. And part of that is capturing the accomplishments of some of our leaders. And so I'll lead with a shout out to First Lieutenant Antonetta Costa. She's one of our human resource officers, and we were able to recently celebrate her promotion to First Lieutenant, and certainly would as she continues this climb across the company grade plate. Congratulations on her accomplishment. I'll turn it over to CSM if he wants to talk about a couple outstanding
incidents. But first, I want to just let everybody know she's my number one draft pick for the next R6 and 7 challenge. Senator Acosta is a beast.
You heard it here first.
Absolutely. So what about Sergeant Maran and Staff Sergeant Conway, sir? They both re-enlisted last month. I will tell you that they call him Sergeant MJ. So Sergeant MJ gave us a great class last week.
Right.
On some resiliency, and it was all done over teams, and he did a wonderful job, and right in line with our efforts, our R2 efforts, our Ready Resilient efforts, and our MRT efforts for our soldiers. So congratulations on the reenlistment, and thank you once again for deciding to continue to serve.
Yeah. And you've got a great analogy on what it means to reenlist and stay within your functional area and want to stay with the formation, and these are two great examples of that. We don't off. I'll a couple highlights on our warrant officer population. I'll lead with Chief Michael Lima and his right arm, Sergeant First Class Zavala from our ammunition depot team, playing an integral role recently in some of our retrograde operations. Lots of ammunition that gets moved, and certainly wanted to give them a shout on their professionalism and helping the organization overall, right, real world stuff, maintain readiness across the board. So really terrific shout out. The other warrant officer shout out I'll give is our warrant officer population that's coming together. They're out in front in terms of scheduling a little bit on the R6, R7 PT challenge, but they're putting together another competitive program that's focused on some physical events as well as some skills, and they're going to put together a terrific event. So very much looking forward to that because they've worn a lot of different hats in terms of leadership. And I'll tee up the last update to CSM, who we'll talk about maybe.
The last two. So we have our Sergeant First Class Lopez and Fissner, who are now retiring from the Army, and once again want to thank them for their service, their dedicated service. Sergeant Lopez holds a real special place in my heart. We deployed together in 2009. He was a young E5. We served together. So we appreciate everything they've done for our service and wish them luck here in the future.
All right, and we have exactly 1 minute left for our last wrap-up. What else do we need to know coming down from the Army side of things in Okinawa?
Well, I think spend some time, as CSM mentioned, find yourself landing on our own Facebook page, our social media page, and learn more about the Army Okinawa Ambassador Program. Help you keep up to date on Army happenings in Okinawa. Always look forward to partnerships across the board with our joint services, and look forward to, I think, what's around the corner for some additional relief for COVID. I think we'll see indoor dining as an option here coming up very soon.
All right, and lastly, quick touch on the AER campaign. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, CSM, you want to hit it? We've got a little bit of time through May to resource things. We've got so many soldiers and leaders who are very generous. You want to talk a little bit about?
Just a quick rundown. Our AER campaign starts. It's starting now. It's a nonprofit organization that provides emergency assistance to in form of zero interest loans to our soldiers and families facing sudden financial impacts or burdens.
All right, gentlemen, thank you both so much for coming in today. Lots of great information passed.